What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the final video I will be doing for Cyberpunk 2077. So this is going to be a kind of like a quick fire review, just quickly going over what I think of the game and stuff. I know it's a quick review because there's no point in doing an in-depth review when loads of people have already done that, and the game came out in December of last year. It's just one more video to add to the playlist as well. I only usually do reviews for Call of Duty, but I thought I'd do a review for this one as well. So anyway, so I'm going to go over 3 different topics in this. So I'm going to be going over the story, the gameplay, and then the issues as well. So we're going to start off with the story. I think the story is pretty good. I really enjoyed the story. I think so obviously I completed the series originally in 26 videos, but I ended up doing a bunch of side stuff. I did the Rogue's story. I did Carey's story, which is unlocked after you do Rogues. I also did Pan Am's one, which is pretty good, and I also did Judy's as well. So I did those because really those should have been part of the main story anyway, but for some reason they were just side missions, and you need to do those side missions to unlock certain endings. You need to do Rogues to unlock Rogue's ending, and same with the what's his name, with Pan Am's as well, to get her ending and stuff. So there are those endings as well, but excuse me, but yeah, no, the story is really good. I thought Johnny, aka Keanu Reeves, was fantastic. I liked V. There was other good characters in there as well. Takamura was a decent character. He was like your companion for quite a bit of the game after the main story here, as he was trying to find out what actually happened to the father. Of course, Arasaka were a good, good set of, I guess you could say villains and stuff, bad guys. Thought they were pretty good. This, Night City seemed like a perfect, it just seemed like this city. Vic was another good character as well. Vic, he was a good character. The guy that can give you upgrades, even though I barely got any upgrades ever. But he seemed like a decent character. There was the story was solid. I would give the story probably a 9, probably an 8 out of 10. I think the story was very good. And the storytelling was definitely there. So yeah, I think that's really all I need to really talk about the story, of course. Yeah, so the next part of it, then we would go to the gameplay. So the gameplay was it was, the thing is, I played on the Xbox One, the standard Xbox One, so the oldest Xbox One you can think of, basically the oldest version. So it was it lagged a little bit. It's better nowadays, but it did lag a little bit. It looked a bit like the frame rate was down, which it was. But the gunplay can be a little jolty at times, but the gunplay was quite fun though when you get used to it. The combat itself is your standard. It's quite standard first-person shooter and stuff. The weapons, some weapons are good, some weapons are horrifying, like really bad, but some of them are actually pretty enjoyable. Like I love Johnny's pistol. There's a sniper rifle I use, and there's also, I don't know what the name of the gun is, but it's quite powerful when it shoots those electronic. It was the 3 guns that I switched between, were my favourite 3. The assault rifles were alright. I felt like some of them were a bit if I'm being perfectly honest with you, but some of them were pretty decent, I would say. As for other elements, the driving was good. The fact you can go third person or first person, the driving was pretty good. And that I did notice though, however, and this is really this is a little off-putting, but when you're running down like a road or something, and you can see like there's clearly loads of cars going down the road ahead of you, when you get to that point there's just no cars, and that kind of leads into the next point here, because that's really all I really want to talk about when it comes to gameplay. The main issue was the bugs. Now I only ran into 2 really game-breaking bugs. There was one during the Pan Am ending where I just was going through the tunnel, and it just didn't like move on to the next stage of it. So I ended up going all the way through the tunnel and then just falling through the ground. But other than that, there was one where I jumped into one of those kind of like taxi things that the taxi floating things that the wealthier people use. I jumped into one of those that you weren't meant to jump into, and when we got into the air, it flinged me out, and I went flying. Although that was quite funny. Other than that, there's been, I don't know, just a few bugs where like AI's maybe gotten a bit stuck and stuff. There's people who've gotten worse, pretty much a lot what those 3 features mainly. But other than that, not real. But for me, I didn't really get too many bugs and stuff. But I only think I saw one person get stuck in a T-pose position. I've seen a lot of that though. The low rendering, yeah, that was an issue, big issue on launch. Like everyone would just look like, I don't know, they're on Windows XP, like just a blob, and then their features would load in. It was that's a little off-putting. It kind of can take you out of the experience. But other than that, but yeah, as I said, this was just a quick fire review, just me quickly going over a few points. What I'll give the game overall at the end of it, I'll give it a 6 out of 10, and that is, a lot of people gave it 4s and some people give it 1s and stuff. I will give it a 6 out of 10 for the story mainly, for about 5 of it, and then 1 of it for the gameplay and all that. But of course the bugs and stuff really ruined it. Like, it could have been a 10 out of 10 for me, honestly, if it was much better. But you know, maybe they might be able to fix it and it'll be better in the future. But you know, that's what you gotta do. I did like the different endings though, so yeah, my favourite one's the Pan Am one, by the way. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. That's all I really wanted to talk about, was just all of that stuff. That is the quickfire review for Cyberpunk 2077. I'll just call it a review, but you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, bye.